green tea and honey. Green tea is, if you're like middle-aged female like me, drink you some green tea at night. I got the rest of my linens and clothing folded up, so we can go through that real quick. I guess I should do like an intro, because I realize this is part 2 and you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So this is part 2 of Highway 70 yard sale haul. Part 1 by this point has already been posted. This will be posted a couple handful of hours afterwards. So if you're just now showing up, there is a part 1 where we go over the rest of the haul. And now we are going to start going over the second half of that haul. So there was, on day 2, after driving miles and miles and miles, there ended up being sort of like a semi flea market set up next to a community center out in, like, I think it's like Brucetown, Tennessee or something, I don't know. But I stopped there, and again, it was mostly resellers, so I didn't find a lot, but weirdly, where I did find more items was actually at an eBay resellers thing. So I think maybe they just ended up with like way too much inventory or something, or maybe they just, some of it they didn't even look up because they found what they wanted out of whatever bulk purchase they made. I did find this, and when I first got it, I actually thought it was a set of curtains for some reason. But when I went to wash it and fold it, there is a tag at the bottom that says twin, and it is 1988 Ninja Turtles twin sheet. Nice condition. I haven't seen any issues on it yet. Oh wait, no, I did find one. I forgot. There's a little hole. It's sad, but there's a little hole. Anyways, still doesn't matter too much. Original Ninja Turtle stuff does really well. I remember this print very clearly from my childhood. I love Ninja Turtles. My little brother played with them a lot. When it was curtains, I was planning on selling the curtains for about $40 because that looked about what they would go for. I don't know what twin flat sheet goes for, so I'll have to look at that. I would imagine I could probably get like 30 or so for that. The third day when I drove like way far out, I just remember there's a couple things that I don't have over here that I need to grab in a minute. I'll grab them in a minute. But I drove way far out, and on my way back, because I went like all the way to Camden basically, and on the way back I stopped at some of the ones that I had missed, because when you're out there, like this, most of the time the speed limit on these highways, this highway in particular, is 55 miles an hour, and people go like 60, 65. And so with that combined with people walking around in the traffic, sometimes I would see one, but I wouldn't feel comfortable stopping very quickly to turn, because also a lot of these didn't have like clear parking, you know, or maybe they had very, very limited parking. So if I didn't feel too comfortable like coming to an abrupt halt and turning into an unknown parking place, I would just keep going with the intent on trying to make it there on my way back. And this was one of those cases. So I'd walked across the street, and there's all kinds of stuff just kind of like piled up everywhere. But as I was walking by, I noticed this color, and I'm like, my graphic design teacher, when I first tried to go to, the very first time I tried to go to college, I was in art college and I was going in for graphic design, and he had been one of the like lead designers for Ralph Lauren. And I learned a lot from him, and so like I was drawn to that like design aesthetic. But 2, I've always loved the quality and the color scheme of their clothing. So I know like a lot of times when I'm in a thrift store or wherever, like I can just, it's like I can just see it out of my peripherals. the corner of my eye. And that's one of those times I was walking by and I was like, whoa, 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 I know that color blue. So this is probably like 2004 Ralph Lauren, somewhere around there. Y2K Ralph Lauren. It is a size 36, I believe, because if this was a size like 30 and I could make it fit me, I would be keeping them. But it is that very sort of like Ralph Lauren cerulean blue, and it has the Big Pony logo, which the Big Pony logo is currently more sought after than the Little Pony logo. So that is good. I don't see any of this color on there, so I'm probably going to shoot for like $40 or $50 and try to get that. It's good all the way around, except it does have one of the back buttons is missing, which isn't like a huge thing on these. So that, with its sizing and the coloring and the Big Pony, should do really well. Where I found from the first haul, I found this Parachute Fisher Price Monkey. I also found these Bratz pillowcases. And at first I thought she just had the one, and then she's like, oh, there's another one under there. So she grabbed that one out for me. One of those quilt top shed on everything. So I'll have to lint it all. But this is like late 90s Y2K, mostly probably 1999 or so, Bratz. And the Bratz dolls have made a big comeback with Gen Z. Even all the way up into college, they love the Bratz dolls. Which is really interesting because when they came out in the late 90s, really kind of, I think like mid to late 90s, there's been many times in my lifetime where mothers thought it was about to be the end of the world, or really just people in general, and they thought like the Antichrist was coming back and everything was gonna, end, and it was gonna be catastrophic. That was a big thing in the late 90s. Like, there's all kinds of like natural disaster end of the world movies. But this was one of those times when the Bratz dolls came out, and those older generations were very used to like Barbie, because Barbie just had that very classic, elegant, sort of perfect look, and then the Bratz dolls just jumped out of nowhere. And it was like, every mother was like, we're going to hell in a handbasket. And here we are, like 30 years later, still going to hell in a handbasket. So, point is that they, some people love them, but again, some parents wouldn't even let their kids play with them. So they didn't take off as well as like a Barbie or something. But then Gen Z came around, and Gen Z grew up with very different dolls and toys for girls, which was kind of a cool thing because, like, in reality, like, I never identified with Barbie. I mean, look at me. Like, I was just like, that's just not me, and it just, I don't know, it just made me feel weird. But they had all kinds of interesting toys, like really cool, weird creatures and animals and make-believe, fantasy, all kinds of interesting things. And they also had like Monster High dolls, and some of these more interesting looking fashion dolls came around. And so when that all happened, the Bratz, like, they were like, hold on, now's our time. Because they, again, were sort of ahead of their time. And so they re-emerged, and that Gen Z has really like clung on to them. The pair will probably go for like $25 or so. This is one of those like woven tapestry fringe blankets, very big in the mid to late 90s. They all have like very interesting prints. I'm gonna try to like hold this up so y'all can see it, because it's not gonna be easy to get like a good, I don't even know if you are gonna be able to see all this. But it is a 75th anniversary M&M's. Again, M&M's are sort of on an upswing. I don't know how far that will go or how long that will last. M&M merchandise in the 90s was sort of overproduced, so even though it is sort of trending upwards, I don't expect it to go for anything crazy because there's so much available. But I have not seen one of these, so I would assume that it is more rare. I'm probably gonna list it around $50 and just see what happens, because these blankets do pretty well overall, especially if they have an interesting design. And I haven't seen any of them. So then on the first day at that first sale where I got the stuff you would have seen in the first haul video if you'd gotten here on time. I'm joking. I also got this Halloween, it's like a handmade Halloween vest, and it's got like all these teddy bears like getting up to no good on Halloween night, ghosts and goblins and all kinds of things. It's got like the inside they used, which was very typical in the 90s, they used a different fabric because why not have everything reversible? So it is reversible with sort of a more generic Halloween print. But this was just $1, and I think when it gets closer to Halloween, I could probably sell that for maybe like $25 or so. It's just super cute. I didn't want to leave it behind. Right down the way from there was another sell, and he was a clothes dealer. So I already knew he'd picked out most of the best stuff, and if it was better, I knew it was probably going to be overpriced for me. But I did see this one, and these are not really known right now. It's Mission brand. This style is something that very first started to emerge in the late 90s, but really started to become all over the place in like 2006 or so, was sort of the pinnacle of it. But recently, certain musicians and such as Billie Eilish, have started to wear t-shirts and that kind of thing with this kind of style again. Emo is coming back. Scene, like scene girl, scene, I don't know if they even call them scene boys, but that scene aesthetic is coming back. And it is creating sort of this merge of all of these types of styles, and I already know that this style is starting to trend upward. Just because the brand isn't necessarily known doesn't mean I cannot sell this based off of keywords and trends. It does have a cool like embroidered spider up here. So I'm going to use keywords to get this one sold, and I'm going to list it fairly high because there are none like this at all listed. And I also have a couple other t-shirts that have that same aesthetic, so I'm going to put them all out there at the same time and be a trendsetter. Not really. I'm just playing along with the trends. So we did have some more of the quilt tops that I got out of the dryer. This is probably 1968, 1969, based off of the prints. Again, mostly cotton, some polyester. The polyester ones are going to do better because of the prints and the boldness of them, and most of them of the size, but these will still do all right. These are still going to do pretty good. This is probably like mid, like 1964 to 1967-ish. And then, let's see. And then we got this one, and this just has like 1971 written all over it. So we got all those sort of mid-century quilt tops. Let me actually put, because this is gonna mess up my box holder, and we don't want that. I'm gonna put on the lemons up here real fast again. Excuse me. Oh, maybe I can get to those tomorrow. All right. So, day one. I passed it on the way out there because it was set up sort of like a small flea market, and I wanted to scout out and see like what kind of yard sales they would have, because my day one was actually a day early. I went Wednesday before the sale officially started and started trying to scout things out, and I ended up coming across some yard sales that were already set up. I did find these Pokemon / Digimon character figures. I can't remember how many are in here. It's like 15 or 12 or something. But upon researching them, this bag of figures should go for about $40 or $50. So that ended up being a pretty good deal. I think he charged me like $5 for that, but still, good deal. I found this, which I'm keeping for myself because he did charge me $7 for this. But it is the Harry Potter 3-headed dog. I can't remember what year it is. I want to say like 2001. Yeah, 2001 Warner Brothers. Their mouths open and close. Super cool. If it had only been $1 or $2, I might sell it. They only go for like 14 to 18, but it does have scuffing. I'm currently collecting some older Harry Potter stuff, and I want to keep this one for myself. So I went ahead and paid the $7, mostly because it was a more personal purchase. So it didn't bother me paying up for it a little bit. Then I got this whole bag of goodies, and this made me incredibly excited. Actually, this one I bought on day 3. I found this at a separate yard sale. He's a little bit, I don't think he's quite working properly. I think he's one of what they call chompers, but I think something's slightly up with him. But I only got him for $1. I found a whole bag. They're mostly Lost World. Jurassic Park Lost World figures. There is some Jurassic Park 3 figures in here. I think there might be one original Jurassic Park, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But overall, these aren't highly valuable. Somewhere between like $5 and $10 each, other than a few. Like this one is more valuable, and I can't remember why, but he was like some sort of limited edition or something. He's got more like sort of neon colors. And then I believe it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Is a rare limited edition. It's a green Velociraptor, and I think he's like $40 to $50. The rest of them are pretty like lower in value. I'm gonna go through them again because any of them that might sell for more than 10 I might list separately, but for the most part I think I'm just gonna make 2 separate lots of these. But we got a bunch in here. I think we ended up, I can't remember, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. So maybe 2 lots of 10, and then I'll sell the others. I'll probably throw this one into one of the lots and just let them know that it's a little janky. So that'll be good. I spent $20 on the whole bag. So with these 2, I'll probably be about at 70 or so. And then the 2 lots of 10, I'll probably sell them for like $45-50 each, so that'll probably be close to like $160, $170. And then there was a Star Wars figure. I think he goes like 10 to 15. So, you know, maybe about 160, 170, 180, somewhere in there. So pretty good. One of the last purchases I made, which I was highly questioning myself after I did this, but it was such an instant like gut thing that I did that I just went with it. But the whole way home I was like, why did you just do that? Like, what were you thinking? But I came upon a box of Legos, and I noticed that there was a Frozen box that had been opened and spilled out, and there was a Minecraft box that had been opened and spilled out, and then I saw a Riddler or Batman minifigure in there. And when glancing in, I saw like a handful of other minifigures. So I asked her how much it was, and she was like, for that whole tub I want $45 because those Legos are expensive. And I was like, sure. And I just gave her the $45. I had it on me, I gave it to her, and I was just like sort of questioning myself. It did end up working out though, because she threw in the other toys that I found, and I gotta go grab one of those here in a second because that put me in the profit. So everything else after that one toy, not only is that one toy going to put me in the profit, everything else will be profit. So it ended up working out fine. I did get these, I can't remember what they're called. They're little like battle skeletons, and they have a name. But I can sell this lot of 4, which these she threw in. I can sell that for about $10. These are like the kitty corn from, I think, the Lego movie. And I can sell these for about $10. There's just a bunch, there's a wide variety here. These are going to go in with my other Lego minifigures, and I'm going to go ahead and sell that Lego minifigure parts lot, probably like 30 or 40 bucks. Then I had a whole lot of Minecraft minifigures that I'll probably sell for like somewhere around 30 or so. This is some sort of special Batman set where it has like the Riddler on a skateboard, and it has Batman and the Batmobile, and it's all complete. And I'm pretty sure that will go, I think it's like 20 or 25. But there's just a bunch of stuff like that. There's more Minecraft figures that'll go for $10. There's 2 little pink ladders that'll go for $10. There's some McFarlane Five Nights at Freddy parts, like replacement parts. I can sell that lot for $10. Like, just literally lots. I separated everything. Lots of baggies of parts and minifigures that will sell. Like this little baby Grommel or Gremlet, or it's a Minecraft figure. That little baby will sell for $10 by itself. This Frozen horse will sell between $10 and $15. So we got all those little baggies, and then we probably have like, I'm really bad at weighing Legos. Like, I'm good at weighing other things, but Legos trick me every time. Like, sometimes I'll think I'm like, oh, that's a solid like 15 pounds of Legos, and it ends up being like 5, and I'm like, how is it? It's like magic, like Lego magic. I mean, I would say probably 10 to 15 pounds of Legos, which mixed Legos and poundage does not sell super well anymore, because so many people start throwing their Legos on there to try to make money. But I can put that it has some McFarlane pieces from the Five Nights at Freddy. It has some Minecraft. It has some Frozen. So that might help it sell a little bit. If I decide I don't want to sell it, I'm just going to donate it to some kid. Because with all these other parts, I believe all these baggies ended up being like $160 worth of minifigures and parts. Plus I had the $10 skeletons that I had. And then I'm actually going to pause this and go get the other thing because you're already going to want to see that. My battery almost died, so I had to plug it up. Hopefully it'll work right. So, the one toy that made the Legos sort of worth it is this Five Nights at Freddy. And I can't remember the name, but it's like the hippo. And this particular 8-inch Five Nights at Freddy plush goes between $60 and $70. So this put me in the profit, and everything else, all the other Legos, ends up being profit. Am I making that much? I mean, I am, but one of the benefits to that putting me in the profit is that is sought after and it'll sell pretty fast. So then after that, I don't really have to worry about the rest. So it ended up working out pretty well. Legos also tend to draw people into your store because they're pretty fast sellers. People are always looking for specific parts and they'll save the search. So it will bring people in. So there are added benefits to it. It's not the best profit margin, but overall I'm still glad I did it. So the rest of this real quick, semi-quick. This is a 1979, which I found out on one of the like off-roads. Grover mask, Sesame Street Grover mask. Very fragile. If you ever find these old Halloween masks, you want to be very careful with them. You want to be careful how you package them because they split and break very easily. Rubber bands break. This material breaks. And you want to let your buyer know that it's very fragile because if they're not familiar with it, they might snatch it out of the box and it's going to just shatter. I have not found Grover. I have found some of the other characters, and some of the other characters go between like $30 and $40, but there are no Grovers, and this is a very iconic late 70s, early 80s Grover. So I think I'm pretty confident I could probably get 30 to 40 for him also, maybe more. I might list him a little higher and just see since he'll be the only one there. Then I got a glass star. It's a circle cutter for stained glass. Any kind of like vintage stained glass tools do really well. I mean, sometimes in the $70 to $100 range, because the newer tools that they tend to make for stained glass, they're just not the same, and people like these older stained glass tools and they're hard to find. That one goes for about $40. I found that on the dollar table at the same place I found all the flash bulbs and the Popular Science magazines. I got this for 50 cents, which it was originally sold at Walmart. It's like a double feature of the Land That Time Forgot and the People That Time Forgot. Very vintage, like sort of kitschy sci-fi movies. It is new and sealed. But this genre, sort of like B movies and like movies like this, have come back really strong, and some of them are hard to find, so this will sell for $10 plus shipping. Then we got a Wiggles Dance Party. This goes for about $10. We have a GM Diesel Maintenance Manual, and this will go for about $10. So super cool to look through. But I paid $1 for this one. Then we got a Vanscoy Diamond Mine 500 Pocono. I don't know why I keep saying that. I keep doing that. These older like race pamphlets and flyers from like the race, sort of race day, they do pretty well. This will go for like 10 to 15. They also have really cool advertisements, and sometimes that'll help it sell if you take pictures of the advertisements. Then I got another one here. I think this one is 1982. I believe this was like 1981. And that one goes for about $10. Got it for $1. Then I got these magazines for 50 cents each. We got Roy Rogers. These are out of Nashville, so they're mostly country music. We have Billy Ray Cyrus. I don't know who he is. I'm not super familiar with my country music. I know some of it, but not all of it. This is like the 25th anniversary, and then the country songwriters, and it has Alan Jackson on the back. And then we have a TV host. The TV hosts and TV guys can do pretty well, usually like $10 to $20. The lot of country music, because it's more localized, even though there's some really cool stuff in it, I'm gonna lot those together for like $20. Then this was $1, Bob the Builder. This one only goes, I think it's like 7 or 8, but super easy to deal with. Where I got the Chuck E. Cheese lunchbox, which you would have seen in the first haul video, I also picked up these bar drip mats. I got 2 of the George Dickel whiskey, because that is like a higher end brand right now and a little bit more sought after. Those go for $24 a piece, and I paid 3 each for those. And I probably shouldn't have gotten this Bacardi, because it does have some like splitting back here. But this is one of the harder ones to find. Like, they have a few designs, but the red striped one is a little bit harder. I'll probably list this one around $20 also. So I paid $9 for those 3 and probably get about $70. Where I got the country music magazines, there's an old guy there that I was chatting with, and he had a bunch of record albums. Most of them were country, but I did find these 2 Agent Orange albums, which these were sort of out of the Vietnam period, and they had some really sort of almost controversial music. But they're not in the best of condition by any means. I think this one is actually a little worse off, but that's okay because this is the less valuable one. This one in really good condition can go for like $150, $200. I'm gonna have to give it a wipe down. It's kind of dusty. This one is in a little bit better condition than the other one, but there's some warping going on. But because these are rare enough, I'm pretty confident I can list them together, even in the condition they're in, and get about $50 for the pair. So that's pretty good. They're $1 a piece. One yard sale I didn't show because it was a little awkward. I got this Tupperware dough mat for 25 cents. It'll go for like $10, $15. The next to last yard sale that I went to, I found this Kavu bag. I'm always questioning how I pronounce that, but it is new with tag, and it was $5. This is like the ivory cream solid color, and it looks like I can get about 40 to 50 on that. Where I got the Grover mask, which I didn't actually film this, but when I went to leave, she was like, "Oh, did you see the California raisin one?" And I was like, "Do what?" And when I had seen it on the hanger, I thought it was like a dish mat or something because of the way it was folded, so I hadn't even looked at it. But it was in fact a California raisin, like, Halloween costume. And it is designed for like a young child to probably, like, I'm pretty sure I could not fit into that. But it's got even the mask inside, so you can wear it on your face pretty easily, and it kind of fits to your face. I haven't seen any with the red lips, like the sort of female version one, or feminine one. but I think I can get about 30 for that. And I paid $2. I paid $1 for this vintage Caterpillar hat. It is Caterpillar branded, made in Bangladesh. It is in really nice condition. I know it's vintage because it was literally sealed in a box with a bunch of old hats that he had owned. So I'm not sure how vintage. I would say probably early 90s maybe. This I did get at the church rummage sale. This one is not really valuable. I'm gonna ask my daughter if she wants it. But I did find some others that we'll get to in a second. Also at the church rummage sale, I got both of these for $1. It's a Hulu, like Hawaiian Elf on the Shelf outfit. And then we got, I should probably move that hat. St. Bernard dog outfit for the Elf on the Shelf pets version. These go for like $25 a piece. So these are actually really good. I got 5 of the Precious Moments like circus pieces, and I already have a little box that has the whole set in it that I need to list. I am listing them individually right now because the set is not selling as high as it was, and I don't want to do all that packaging when I could make more money just parting them out. But they are in nice condition. They're in their boxes. I paid $3 for all 5 of them. So that was a pretty good deal. And they'll sell on average for like $8 a piece. Then I got this Fear of the Krabby Patty SpongeBob VHS. And usually this will go for easy $15. But this is a good lesson because I did not check the tape. It was one of those I just grabbed and put in my bag, and it ended up being Caillou. So, pretty disappointed about that one. But, you know, whatever. It happens. I paid like 50 cents for it or something like that. This is a BKE Moto vest. Moto is pretty in right now. So this look is pretty in. I'll probably also list it under like Gorp and Indie, which are different fashion aesthetics that are kind of current. I got this Texas Instrument 1000. Not very valuable. I'll probably only sell it for maybe like $8 at most. But I paid $1 for it. I tend to pick them up because there are some that are crazy valuable. And so I would imagine that's like the one that's most valuable is because the lights in it were used for like, they're the same lights that were used in like the original Star Wars like lightsaber. So I'm pretty sure the reason they sell them is because they, or buy them for so much, is because they use them as like a replacement part. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what it is. But I go ahead and pick them up because I always end up forgetting which one it is that sells so well. I also, from that older gentleman with the record albums, got this World Clock. I think it's MFJ. And there's none listed, but other World Clocks do pretty well, like vintage World Clocks. I do need to open it and put a new battery in there. And sort of test it, but it looks in really nice condition, and the back, like the metal plate, the plastic that was supposed to protect it is still attached, so that back plate is in really nice condition. But yeah, I should be able to get about $30 to $40 on the World Clock, and I gave him $1. This, where did I get this? I can't even remember where I got this thing. Oh yeah, I got it at the church rummage sale. I think she charged me like $1/4 for it or something. It is one of the Lala Loopsy babies. She'll probably go for about $10 on her own. From the older gentleman, I also got this Crystalon knife sharpener. This will go $10 to $15. At the church rummage sale, I got these Pimpernel fruit coasters. They are new and package sealed. This will probably go for about $25 to $30. This design does pretty well. There's a couple listed, like sets of 12 that are listed at like $50 right now. Then I got this Gabby's Dollhouse set. Let's take it out of here. It's a little play set. And it goes for like 15-ish or so. I just paid $1. Oh, she like flips an egg. Bloop, bloop. Anyways, that's pretty cool. I like new toys when they're like really good condition because they're easy work. I got these 2 Pokemon VHSs. This one goes for like $15 pretty easily. I got that for 50 cents. This one only goes for like $5 to $6, but I got it for 50 cents, so that's fine. And then I got 2 at one of the little flea market-y type things. I got 2 of these 1980s computers and electronics magazines, and I have not found these yet. But it has AT&T. It has like a new inkjet printer. Like when the inkjet printer first came out. It's got IBM and Apple. So I'm actually gonna list these up because these are in pretty nice condition for their age. And they got like a lot of very original computer tech in here. So I'm gonna list them fairly high. I'm not sure yet how high. I might even go like $40, $50 and just see and let them sit there. And then if I need to, I'll come down. But I have not found those issues yet. I did get this audio, I think I can't remember, 1960s or 70s. 1967. So it's all like stereo systems and speakers and like radios. That was just sort of the time where that was like evolving. This one looks to go for about $10. I don't know about this one. I didn't look it up because the condition isn't great. But I should probably still look it up, I guess, because maybe I'll just throw it in with the other one and not really change the price. This is 1969. Sort of the same thing, like record players, album, or radios and that kind of thing. Then I got this 8 gigabyte RCA Flash MP3 player. You can put 2,000 songs on this bad boy. You can also do a voice memo. 25 hours of battery power. New in package. There's only like 1 or 2 listed, and they're listed at the $40 to $50 range, so I'll probably follow suit with that, but I'm going to add this in the bundle because I got both of these for $3. So this is like an armband, carrying case, and USB power adapter. So yeah, I'm gonna bundle those together for probably like $48 free shipping or something like that. And then lastly, which I'm pretty sure is lastly, I think we finally made it. I'm pretty sure. At the church yard sale. I'm surprised these were still there. Because it looked like somebody had like rummaged through all the toys, but when I went up to one of the bins, all these were sitting on the top, and I was just like, wow, okay. And I picked these up not knowing if the games were in there, but they were in there. These are 3DS games, the pamphlets, everything are in there. I believe this one goes for like 15 to 20. And I think this one goes for like 10 to 15. I could be wrong on that. I looked all these up very quickly, so I don't actually remember all of them except for one. Now, I did get the pink, sort of pinkish, purplish 3DS case, and I should be able to get about 20 for this case. I found the Animal Crossing game. That's only going to go for like 5 to 10 without the case. Then I got Scooby-Doo's Cartoon Universe Adventure. I think that one goes for about 15, but then I found Tomodachi Life, and that's a good one. And that one goes for about 60 to 70. So that was awesome. And I got the case and all these games for $5. So that went pretty well. I think that is everything. But it's funny because that's really a lot. And I really was like feeling kind of not especially happy with it. But I think part of the, well, I know part of the reason is because it ends up being around $2,000. Everything I got around $2,000. And I spent right at $150. The thing though is, which that sounds great, right? That's great if you find it in one day, you know, or if you don't have to do 4 loads of laundry to get there, or you don't have to wash like, you know, 10 or 12 things in the sink to get there. And it's still pretty good, but to break down the math for y'all really quick, because I think it's a good example. So, paid $150 for about $2,000 worth of inventory. But I spent 3 days picking in the hot sun. I spent about 24 hours, not 24 whole hours, but a day doing laundry, sorting the Legos, sorting like the flash bulb, because there's a bunch of flash bulbs that I ended up not needing or couldn't be sold. Looking up various values, trying to figure out how I wanted to lot things together, cleaning the items. I cleaned the plushes and the hat. So just processing was about a day's worth of work. Now, for the amount of items I have, I would guess about 2.5 days of work. So let's just say about 7 days of work. And let's say we work 8 hours a day. So it's like 56 hours. Now, we have $2,000. Let's say we have about 100 items and the average shipping is like $5. And we're just kind of throwing numbers out here so we can make the math easier. But say the shipping altogether ends up being $500. And the reason that's important to add up your shipping when you're figuring out your profits is because eBay takes fees off of the shipping also. Sneaky little thing they do. But so now what eBay will take fees off of is approximately $2,500. And when you take out the percentage of fees that they take, plus you add in like your store subscription, or maybe even you promote some of your items, you're looking close to an average of 20% in fees that eBay is going to take out off of the top with like what you sell it for and the shipping. So about $500. So now we have this $2,500, but $500 of it is shipping. So you got to take the $500 back off of it because that's going to shipping. So now we're back to the $2,000. We got to take the $500 of fees out of that. So now we're at like $1,500. And then I got to take my $150 that I spent on the inventory out of it. So now you're at like $1,350. And then I have expenses and taxes of my own. Let's just say $250 for all of that between shipping costs, gas. That's a pretty low ball number. It's actually, you know, honestly, we should probably say $3.50, because I probably spent a solid $15 a day in gas. And then I got like food snacks, and then I got all my shipping materials that are going to go for all these different items. So yeah, we're going to go with $3.50. And then my taxes, which I'm about in the 20% tax bracket, but it'll probably be higher this year. So even $3.50 is kind of a lowball number. So now we're at a true net profit of $1,000. We've basically just eaten through half of that, what our number in our head is, because 2,000 sounds amazing, but now we're at 1,000. But we've worked 56 hours. So you're going to end up, after all of that, you're going to end up making a little less than $20 an hour. And you can go to a gas station and make $18 an hour now. You know, that's not super sustainable. You can do it, especially if you have like a 2-family income and you don't have any kids, or if you're doing for part-time, you know, outside of your main job. But if you're trying to live full-time off of $18 an hour, at this point in this economy, it's going to be kind of tight. It's going to be tough. But what a lot of people don't factor in is, even out of that $1,000, some of that has to go back into inventory. Because if you're not reinvesting a certain percentage or a certain number amount every week, or however often you go and pick and source for inventory, then you're not going to have items to list. Your algorithms are going to crash, and eventually you're going to run out of inventory. So you can never think, well, $1,000 is still good. I got $1,000 in my pocket. One, it's going to take you months and even years. Like those doll heads, I'm going to have some of those doll heads like 2 years from now. Like honestly, probably. Maybe not that long. Maybe like a year and a half. There are certain things that are going to take a minute to get. Like, I'll probably get my investment back pretty quickly, but to just get all of the profit out of it is going to take a minute. So one, it's going to take a while to sell, but two, you have to take a certain amount of that and put it right back into your business. You cannot, that's like your cash flow. Like, you cannot count that as what you need to buy your groceries or pay your bills, because if you do, then you don't have money to invest. So that is why I am so picky about my profit margins. I am so picky about my profit margins. That's the number one, because I'm okay if I sell a $5 item if I bought it for 20 or even 50 cents, especially 20 cents or 10 cents, you know, that's fine with me. Profit margins is where it's at. The higher your profit margin, the more secure you are, the more money you're making, the less your costs affect you. The second number one thing, because they're almost as equal, so they might as well both be number one, is my cost. So I'm constantly trying to source the lowest cost shipping materials. I'm trying to always get free shipping materials when I can, or buy them at yard sales or super cheap when I find them. Find creative ways to package things, because shipping materials are one of your bigger costs outside of your inventory. But that's why I'm also picky about trying to find things at the lowest price possible, or trying to buy really big bulk lots. Because if you can control your cost to an extreme, and you can keep your profit margins as high as possible, you're going to be fine. You're going to make it. If you let those things get out of hand and you get all starstruck by the $2,000 and you don't break it down and do your math, it's going to sneak up on you. And one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, why am I still broke? Why am I still doing all this? And I'm not making money. And also, I don't even have, like, I only have like $20 to even invest in my business. It will catch up with you. That hasn't happened to me because I've been in a difficult financial situation for about 2.5 years now. So that was separate from, that was a whole different situation where I couldn't quite invest because I had to eat. You know, I was doing, my numbers were fine, but I needed money so badly, and everything in my personal life cost so much, and everything was falling apart, that it didn't matter what my profit margins were. Like, I could not invest enough to get my sales where they needed to go. I mean, I was literally picking for inventory for 5 months without a vehicle. So, to my credit, I did an unimaginable thing, but that's how that got me. I have, though, earlier on, when I first started, had to really understand and figure out what was worth it and what was not. Because at that time, I was like everyone else, and I would find something for like $3 or $4 that would sell for $25, and I would be so excited, you know. But after you do it long enough and you invest enough hours and money and time and knowledge, like learning and all of that into it, and then one day you're like, why do I still not have money in my bank account? It's because you're not controlling your cost and you're not watching your profit margins. You're not doing all of the math. And I am trying to stop saying you, because I don't want people to feel like I'm being like, you're not doing it. People who are selling, including myself when I first started, I was not doing my math. I was not understanding everything I was investing in my time and my cash flow. Now I get it. Now I'm trying to help teach other people, because it's tough. It's tough, especially, I feel like it's almost tougher for you guys now, because I didn't have I had YouTube, but I barely knew it existed. I wasn't like on there. I didn't have a smartphone. I didn't have any way to comp anything. You could barely even comp when you were at home sitting at your PC. Like, it was a whole different way of having to like even look up the value of things. You couldn't do any kind of Google image searching. You just had to go out there. Like, I would read antique books. Like, I would study things like that, you know? So you really had to go out there just half blindly. And the only people you could learn a lot from, like in person, were antique dealers, and they had a strong little bond going on. And they were very much into apprenticeships, and they would not give their knowledge up for anything, and they would spot resellers. I actually got tricked a few times by antique dealers who would tell me something was valuable, and I had no way of knowing it was not, and then I would buy it and invest the money, and it would be like almost worthless. So they were cutthroat. I would say karma is a real thing. But the point is I had no way of really knowing or learning other than the hard way. And I think that taught me almost faster, because I didn't have people telling me, no, you're fine. Your sales will pick up. It's fine. You're doing the right thing. Just keep buying this. Just keep doing that. Hyping people up because they bought something for $20 and sold it for $100. You know, that's great if you're retired. That's great if you have a 2-income family. It's fine if you have someone else doing work with you. If you're working as a couple or something even. Like, that's more manageable because you can get twice as much work done. But if you're by yourself, please sit down and do the math. Do the math and figure out what you are okay with shipping, what you're okay with buying, how you want to invest your money, how much cash flow you want to have, how much you want to spend weekly on your inventory. Period. I'm going to stop now because I'm just going on and on and on. I think I'm tired. I hope you enjoyed this second haul video. And I hope I haven't run y'all off yet. But it worked out. It's fine. It's good. Tuesday, I am going to do the what sold video, which I'm very excited about because like I said in the first haul video, I surpassed my goal that I had set for the end of June. I surpassed that the first week of June. So I'm excited to talk about my sales growth and my net sales growth. And I'm gonna go over everything that sold last week so you guys can get an idea about what's selling. I hope y'all have a good night. I will get these videos posted as quickly as I can. They're a little bit behind from what I planned. I appreciate all the love you guys have shown me, all the comments, all the liking, even the mean things people have said. They help my algorithms. So I appreciate it. And I will see you guys later.